and welcome back. This week is focused on our artists, our producers, and those in the entertainment industry who have arguably been hit the worst during this pandemic. This week, we are focusing on 5 tips to make money with music. This is part 3 of our 5-tip series where I'll be sharing 5 tips each week that are helpful for businesses, small to medium-sized entities, innovators, artists, designers, photographers, filmmakers, and essentially anyone who has an idea and wants to create and protect it. I'll be sharing tips on how to level up and take your business or craft to the next stage, and most importantly, protect what you create. These tips were formulated from common questions I am asked and also from real-life client issues. If you missed parts 1 and 2, be sure to check it out. I have linked it below. Over the course of the last few weeks, I have seen the outcry by persons in the entertainment industry, and so I hope that in some way these tips can be used and applied to help persons in the industry. An industry that has been almost crippled by the restrictions imposed due to the pandemic. So today's 5 tips to make money from music. I'm not going to focus on the obvious ways that persons in this music industry make money, but rather provide avenues that can be used even with our current restrictions. I am sure that it has become abundantly apparent, not just for the entertainment industry, but for all industries, that multiple revenue streams are essential. So here are my 5 tips to have multiple revenue streams in the music industry. Tip number 1, digital distribution. Royalties are your best friend in the music industry. However, the reality in Trinidad and Tobago is that our local artists and producers find it hard to earn royalties from traditional means such as through local CMOs or collective management organizations. In every presentation I have done in terms of making money from music, I have advised on the use of CMOs as one of the best options to collect royalties. But due to a plethora of reasons, we don't see that materializing here in Trinidad and Tobago. We therefore need to look for other ways to collect on royalties. One way that can be effective for our local music industry is through digital distribution. There are various entities such as TuneCore and Amuse that have entered the market and revolutionized and expanded the way royalties can be collected. Essentially, you give these entities the right to distribute your music to major streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music, and then collect royalties from them, which are paid back to you. Again, there are limitations on the use of this as a local artist, as some of these entities do not allow services for our jurisdiction. But with proper research, you can find some that actually operate here. When choosing a digital distributor, ensure that you are able to receive money in our jurisdiction. Read through the terms properly to ensure that you are clear on what rights that you are licensing. Look at how much royalties are being paid and pay attention to when you will be paid. This option is great as you can do this from the comfort of your home and earn passive income over a long period of time. Tip number 2, teach music. We all know the saying, those who can't do teach. However, in reality, those who can do should teach. Our entertainment industry is full of so much talent, but there aren't enough persons in the industry that teach and train newcomers. We have an entertainment industry that is unique to us and one that cannot simply be taught by traditional international courses. It is therefore important for those in the music industry to teach their craft, to help strengthen and develop our local music industry, and this can concurrently help to bring in a new revenue stream. There are so many different ways your teaching services can be offered, both remotely and in person, and there are so many different things those in the industry can teach. This is definitely a great method you can use from home with little to no upfront expenses required. We have so many online platforms such as Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, which you can use to offer online live classes. There are also teaching platforms such as Udemy, Teachable, Skillshare, and a host of others where you can create your own courses which can bring in money over a longer period of time. There are also service platforms such as Fiverr where you can offer various classes, lessons, and musical services. Again, when choosing a medium, ensure that it is an option that allows payment to our jurisdiction. Tip number 3, branding and merchandising. This is an indirect way to make money from music. As a musician, a performer, a producer, whatever role you play in the music industry, you are your brand. If you have a large social media following, chances are higher that you have a lot of persons who support your music and by extension your brand. When we think of the music industry and protection surrounding it, we usually think about copyright, but branding and trademarking has an important role to play as well. Many artists fail to acknowledge and protect their brand and further exploit it to their advantage. If you look at one of the biggest artists here in Trinidad and Tobago, Machel Montano, he appreciates the value of his brand and ensures that he protects it and has even used it to branch out into other industries. Branding and merchandising are revenue streams heavily utilized by international entertainers in the music industry. We have all probably owned a t-shirt of our favorite band or singer at one point in our life. However, you do not necessarily have to be an international pop star to be able to benefit from branding and merchandising. This has become even easier due to multiple social media and online platforms where you can get your branding out there and where you can have online platforms to sell your merchandise. Creating unique, useful, and quality merchandise can help really to strengthen your brand and also create a new revenue stream. This stream not only allows you to make money from direct sales, but also works as a form of advertisement for you and your brand when persons use or wear your brand. Having brand ambassadors and utilizing local social media influencers can also help to sell your merchandise and increase your social following. Tip number 4, licensing. Every person in the music industry should be closely familiar with each and every license subsisting in this industry. A major source of income for persons in the music industry can come from licensing. You can license the use of your music for films, for advertisements, to other artists or musicians who want to create a song based on your rhythm or melody. The rule of thumb is, if someone wants to use your music, this requires your permission and therefore they need a license. It is firstly important to know what licenses are required to effectively do this and ensure you know the rights you have to the music so that you can get value for what you provide. If you're a producer, you would need to be familiar with synchronization and master licenses, where you are licensing your music for use in TV, film, or advertisements. If someone wants to cover or remix your song, you would need to be familiar with mechanical licenses. It is also important to be familiar with industry rates so you can properly negotiate the licensing terms and corresponding royalty payments. Tip number 5, turn your extras into earnings. If you're in the music industry, chances are high that during the lockdown, you may have gotten a lot of time and inspiration to create more music than you usually do. However, if you produce your own beats or tracks, there are probably many of these productions that goes unused or underutilized. For those beats or tracks that probably didn't make it for a particular song, this can easily be used for profit. There is a need for these extra beats or tracks as many brands and businesses have heavily relied on video marketing as opposed to traditional marketing methods. One aspect of video marketing includes quick, catchy beats that complement whatever the business is promoting. Because of the volume of videos created, these businesses look for easily accessible beats and tunes they can use along with their videos. You can therefore use these beats and tracks that you have set aside and sell or license the rights on various websites that offer this service. This can help to create a new revenue stream that can quickly grow over time. Of course, be careful and ensure you put proper licenses in place so you know exactly what rights you are selling or licensing. That's my 5 tips for this week. I hope that it can help those in the music industry to create new revenue streams, particularly during these challenging times in the industry. If anyone has tips that has worked for them, be sure to share it below. Look out for next week's tips where I'll be giving 5 tips for the film industry. Until next time.